Today we're going to be talking about foraging plantain. Okay, plantain's an excellent wild food that you can eat. You can eat the leaves and the seeds. This time of year, which is mid to late April, it's still real young. So it's up. It's maybe 2 to 3 inches, 4 inches or so, depending on your area. And it is great to just eat fresh. Okay, later in the season, as it gets bigger, the leaves get more bitter and they become more appropriate for things like soups and stews and other things that you can do with it. The seeds themselves, they can be eaten. A lot of people add them to like flour to help as almost like a binding agent. So there's many different uses for plantain, but let's get started in showing you what young plantain looks like. Okay, here's one area of our property where plantain has decided to make itself known. And we have a bunch of it around here. And again, it's really young right now, so it is a little bit hard to see, but all that is plantain. There's 2 different species that we have here. That is Plantain lanceolata. And then we have another kind, which is Plantain major. Okay, and I'll show you these up close. Okay, so here's the lanceolata, and you can kind of see they have lance-like or lanceolate type leaves, and they create these rosettes. Okay, so that's very common. These will get fairly big, not super big. You know, those leaves right there, but they might get a couple inches wide, and then they do get kind of long, so like maybe a foot long or so. That's kind of typical for around here. And then let me show you the Plantain major. All right, so here's a good example of Plantain major, and you can see the leaf is much wider, and these get really big. The width on that could be a foot wide when this thing is mature. And here's a great example, because here's the lanceolata right next to it, and then the major. Okay, those are the 2 differences. Now, I can eat this raw right here. However, my poultry and love to hang out right here, so I'm not gonna use this, but I am gonna take you to a place where I can forage it. Okay, so here's another spot where we have a lot of plantain, and this is in our garden. This is in our herb garden. We did not plant it here; it just came up here, so obviously we are leaving it. And so you can see, like right there, there's some right here, there's some more over there, etc. Now you can see, like, these leaves are only a couple inches long here, 2 to 3 inches, and we can, these young leaves are very tasty, and then we can eat them. So this is the major, and if we eat it and taste it and see how it is when it's young, it's a little bit tangy, a little bit bitter, not much. It's actually really good. This would be very good to add to a typical salad, and you wouldn't even notice it. It's kind of like, it would be similar to adding dandelion leaves or something like that. Although it does have a more distinct taste. It tastes different than dandelion leaves. But when it's young like this, it's great for foraging. I wanted to show you real quick a picture of the mature plants, and this is the major. And both the major and the lanceolata develop these really, really small white flowers that eventually turn into brown seed pods, and that's when you can collect the seed and be able to use the seed for many different uses. And like I said, even the older leaves can be used in soups and stews. They have very, very good high nutritional density, high in vitamin A and calcium. The seeds can be added to baked goods, like I was mentioning before, and used as a binding ingredient. The leaves themselves can be dried and then crumbled later, kept in a glass jar for teas, and it can also be frozen, so blanched and then frozen, and then used in whatever recipes that you would want to use them in, like, for example, soups and stews.